Hello everyone, this is going to be a shorter, less heavily researched video than what I normally make, so I have something to post as I work on my next video. So while you're waiting for that, let's talk about fan cams on Stan Twitter. Specifically, how people are misusing the term fan cam. If you're on Twitter at all, you've definitely seen a fan cam. It's a common trope for K-pop fans to reply to random tweets with things like, "Anyway, Stan blank," and add a video of their favorite idol performing below it. This has become so ubiquitous that it has gone outside the K-pop fandom, and now there are even supposed fan cam edits of things like Blorja from the 2020 election or other non-K-pop celebrities. But like, are those fan cams? My answer is a hard no, and here's why. Fancam, as it is used in the K-pop fandom, is a combination of the words fan and camera. In 2010, Urban Dictionary defined the word as footage of a celebrity taken by a fan, most likely to be of low quality. And yeah, we're only using the highest quality sources for this video. Think of any concert footage taken by someone in the audience and how shaky it is to the point where you can't really see anything. You know, the good stuff. As an example, see this shitty cell phone footage I took of BTS at their Wings tour in 2017, which are also the oldest public videos I have on this channel. Not gonna lie, I think I had some pretty fierce camera work. We love shaky blurry nonsense with zero sound quality, yes, almost like my videos now. So my Wings tour video is a fan cam in the truest sense of the word. Also, most of the background footage I'm going to be using in this video is a fan cam, unless I explicitly note otherwise. But fan cams have kind of evolved away from this due to a unique part of the K-pop fandom. In Korea, and Asia more broadly, there are these things called fan sites for particular idols. These are usually run by fans of the idols, not always, but usually, and they generally follow the idols around and take pictures of them with really nice HD cameras at their various scheduled events and performances. Fan sites are kind of like paparazzi, though, in my opinion, fan sites seem less inherently scummy than paparazzi do because they're usually fans of the artist to some extent. Fan sites are trying to show how beautiful their idol is, not catch them at their worst moment for a shitty tabloid headline. Now, that being said, there are plenty of examples of fan sites being just crazy stalkers who invade their faves' privacy just for a photo, so they're not a universally positive force. But, delving into how fan sites are problematic would be a whole other video on its own. So, in sum, fan sites are websites run by one or multiple fans who are dedicated to one specific idol or group. They follow the artist to their varied appearances and use high-quality equipment to capture photos and videos and upload them online. The practice has become so popular in Korea that TV broadcast stations sometimes upload their own high-quality fan cams after posting a full performance on YouTube. As an interesting aside, the footage uploaded by Korean TV broadcast stations like Mnet don't call their videos fan cams. Often they use the term 직cam, which is short for the word 직접 찍은 camera, which means personal camera. This is because the footage is usually focused on one idol during a group performance, so it's like that idol's personal camera. I've seen a lot of Korean fan sites use this term too, so I think fan cam might primarily be an international fan term, while Korean fans use 직cam. If any K fans happen to be watching this, please let me know if my hunch is correct in the comments below. Interesting to note, there have also been some famous examples of fan cams saving idol groups from disbandment because of how popular a fan cam of theirs got. The most widely known example of this is EXID Hanny's fan cam of their song Up and Down going mega viral and launching their song to the top of the charts. EXID would have disbanded soon after that due to low popularity if it weren't for that fan cam single-handedly reviving their career. So, in my opinion, the distinguishing aspects of a fan cam is that the video is of a single, unbroken performance from the perspective of the audience, and most often focuses on a single member, but it can also be of a whole group. Fan cams usually have minimal editing. There aren't many cuts, filters, or text added. There might be some zooms if it allows us to see the idol better, but usually that's about it. There might be a few exceptions to this editing rule, but this is true for like 95% of fan cams that I've seen. Fan cams are usually of performances, but they can also be of like an idol interacting with fans at a live event like a fan signing. However, the same criteria would apply here as well. The fan cam would be of the same single event, though perhaps edited to only show highlights if the event is like hours long. It's shot from the perspective of the audience, and it usually focuses on a single member. So like, what the heck does that make all of these?
So I told that girl I'm gonna slaughter it.
To my ass, do the dash, can you make it go fast? Fuck the fame, all I want is them bands. If she keep on mugging, I'ma still her man.
In my opinion, those videos would be considered a fan edit. A fan edit is, in my opinion, what happens when you edit together different performances or fan cams together to create a supercut of a person or an idol. When you compile and edit together all the best moments of an artist or actor from different events and add cool filters, tons of zooms and cuts, or a sexy song, that's a fan edit. The main difference here is that you're adding tons of editing to the footage. In general, fan edits are a much more transformative work than a fan cam. So, have I made it clear how this is different from a fan cam? Fan cams are original footage from the audience's point of view of a single performance or event with minimal editing. Fan edits stitch together different performances, events, and POVs together into one video. If you edit a bunch of different fan cams together, that's a fan edit, because there is heavy editing involved. Does this make sense? I don't know how much clearer I can be with this. I feel like I'm going insane. So why am I making a whole video to complain about something so incredibly pedantic? Well, I just have very strong feelings about these frickin' normies and locals on Twitter appropriating these terms that belong to the K-pop fandom. K-pop stands rise up. I'm joking, to be clear. In all honesty, this doesn't matter at all, and I don't actually care that much. Words evolve and change meaning as time goes on, and it really doesn't matter to me if something is called a fan cam or a fan edit. I guess sometimes it's a little confusing when I watch something that's labeled a fan cam and it's actually a fan edit, but like, that's about it. I figure it out pretty quickly by using some very high-level critical thinking skills. But, you know, sometimes it's fun to be a pedant, and sometimes you just need to talk about something that requires minimal research on your part. I'll have a more in-depth video coming out soon, I promise. I just have a few things going on in real life at the moment. Thanks for watching. Bye!